Tanner's pick of the week was the 2000 film. For some reason, it feels like a fucking 80s film.
Yeah, this film feels very old.
Yeah, the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon film.
Dude, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. So, quick question before I even do the plot summary. Who the fuck is the main character in this?
That's a great question. It's either the main lady or the young lady. It's one of the two.
I thought it was either the ninja girl or the monk dude, because he's the first one we see in the movie.
Just because he's the first one doesn't mean main character.
And we also kind of follow him around.
I don't know if he'd be a main character. I think it's much more centrally focused on the girl.
Anyway, we've got this chick. She is... Fuck, I'm trying to think of what a succinct way to explain this film is. There is a girl. She fell in love with a boy once. She left the boy. She then got engaged to be married and also was trained by an old woman to get revenge on the old woman's enemies. She steals a cool sword, and then she runs away from her marriage to go back with the guy she loves, and there's some fight scenes to get the sword back, and then she kills herself. The end.
I don't know if she kills herself.
Is that a plot summary?
I think she just floats off like the old man in the story, but anyway, what's your haiku?
My haiku, as inspired by Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Zhao Sheng Hao, Zhang Guo, Jian Zai, Wo Yu, Bing Chiling, Wo Han, Ji Huan, Bing Chiling, Danshi, Sudu Yu, Jing Kui, 9, Bing Chiling!
That's not a haiku, that's a double haiku.
Yeah, that was 2 IQs in a row, don't count it up. Yeah, my biggest complaint with this film is the plot is hard to keep track of.
It sure is, buddy.
For the longest time, I did not realize that the princess girl and the ninja girl were the same person, and so that confused the fuck out of me.
What?
The action
Tanner,
scenes...
you even called attention to it at one point very early into the film. You're like, oh, look, she just realized that they're the same person.
Yeah, and I also feel like that was an integral
Well, I think
part
up
of the
until
movie
that point, I didn't realize it.
That was super early in the movie. It was when she fucking dropped the glass and the lady caught it. You were like, oh, look, they're the same person. She's realizing it now.
Oh, I guess I fucking pointed that out and then immediately forgot that shit. That's funny. Yeah, plot is obtuse, I will say. The action scenes can be cool. They often become very goofy, and hard to take seriously.
Oh boy, do they really love just like jumping around with moon physics in this film?
Yeah,
they sure.
Sometimes the wire work is cool. I am not anti-wire work. There's a lot of parts where it is not them fighting with like enhanced abilities. It's them running away in very silly manners.
They put an awful lot in this movie.
Yeah, it kind of deflates the tension in a lot of these scenes. This movie is way too slow. What? Who? How? A 20-minute flashback? What the fuck?
I think I fell asleep at that part.
Huh? How did that make it in the movie? No one watched this and they're like, boss, should we really flashback for 20 minutes? Especially when the flashback, all the like vital information that communicated was that she met this dude in the desert once. That's like the only thing that we really needed to take away from the flashback. So why is it so goddamn long?
Dude, you needed to understand just how much they cared about one another, though, dude.
Yeah, show off how unfair her life was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with the pacing of this movie. It's so slow, and like I said, I think I fell asleep around the flashback part, and I was like, God, I need to go back and try to make it through this, and so I went back like 20 minutes, I was like, surely, or I don't even remember, but I was like, surely I'm here, and I ended up rewinding like half an hour plus, because I guess I just fell asleep for that long trying to watch this. Yeah, the wire usage was a little high. I like how they were so enamored with, you know, the running and the flying and the scaling impossible walls. I'm not saying it wasn't cool to watch, but at some point, there's a line of immersion you get when you're in a movie, and they cross that so early on. And at that point, when I got later in the movie, I was like, I just expect them to just fly everywhere, I guess. On top of that, it makes me realize how much of like the fighting styles and like weaponry that I usually recognize with Eastern culture actually comes from the Chinese like culture, so I am heavily misconstrued with a lot of information apparently. But yeah, I found this plot kind of hard to follow, and I don't know how to rate the acting because I don't know how. I mean, it was fine, I guess. I don't think this movie was terrible. I think if you really were into the plot at all, it was okay. But I didn't understand the ending where she's like, "Oh, do you remember where we met?" And he was like in the desert, and then she jumps off, and the ending literally means nothing. I don't know what I'm supposed to get from any of the movie at that point. It all amounted to nothing in the end, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused by the ending too, because like obviously it's a reference to the story where like, oh, the guy jumped off the thing and his wish was granted, but like presumably her wish is just to live happily with that dude.
What she really wants is freedom, Tanner. That's what she wants.
I guess there's freedom and death. I thought she was gonna try to save the monk guy, but I guess that didn't end. Because she looked like she wanted to help, and when she realized she was too late, I figured like, oh, she's gonna jump off and save the guy's life, but then like live freely. But then also the other guy's gonna jump off, and then they're gonna float on into eternity forever together. And then none of that happened. I was like, so what happened? What happened here? What am I supposed to take from this? I'm realizing now I'm not as high on this movie. I'm gonna have to rethink my rank. My rank is obscene based on how I'm talking about this movie.
We're gonna get fucking flamed, by the way. People love this movie, and
It's not a bad
don't.
movie.
I disagree.
You're right, it's not bad, but like I don't see where all this fucking acclaim is coming from. Like the what was explained to me is that this is the first wuxia film, which is a style of kung fu film from China. This is the first one that got released in like American theaters. And I guess it's just like because this is the first time people were exposed to this shit, they were like, oh my god, this is the most amazing thing I've ever fucking seen in my life. And I've seen cooler action scenes. I've seen
Tanner,
more
that's not
epic
fair.
tales.
If it's the first time it happened, then you can't criticize it, man.
Well, it's not the first time it happened. It's just the first time people in America fucking saw it.
Ad hominem.
Go kill yourself.
I'll be honest, I really don't think that I can fairly rate this movie, considering I could not really retain anything that happened throughout this shit.
Fair enough.
But you know what? I'm gonna give it my best anyway.
Go for it, dude. We're listening.
Well, hang on. Don't we have more thoughts to say about it, Jackson?
Oh, you were gonna skip right to the rankings. I see.
He literally has no thoughts. Head's empty.
Gotcha.
This movie's fantastic. I think it's very well acted. I think the set dressing is very good. I think the plot is very easy to follow. This is basically Chinese Romeo and Juliet. It's beautiful. I think the action scenes are magnificently done. I think they're flying through the air like graceful birds. It's gorgeous to watch, and I think it really inspires a lot within me. I really love the touching love story between our main character and her very handsome boyfriend. And of course, I hope the best for them, and I think it was beautiful that she did that touching thing to try and get a wish for him by killing herself at the end of the movie. Anyways, this movie fucking sucks. I'm giving it a D+.
Holy shit. Nico?
Dude, you're right. I love China. Let's go. China #1. China. Woohoo! Yeah, I didn't like this movie. I'll give it a D.
Yikes. I'm gonna give this movie a C for China.
Yeah. Fuck it, I'll give it a C.
Crazy stuff.
For China,
Like-
China #1. Woohoo! We love China. Jackson, what's its
Bing
rating?
Chiling, Zhonghua.
Ching.
It lands at a C- overall. Also,
Crazy
we
stuff.
didn't touch on this. We watched the dub, of course, because that's just how they released it in America, and it is fucking atrocious.
Dude.
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Wait, that's
It's
what I was
so
gonna ask.
bad.
Because I was asking Jackson, you guys hadn't even watched it yet. Did it? And I understand kind of how the Chinese language works. It almost seemed like they were trying to dub in English by just moving their lips to what they would assume was the English
That's
translation.
usually how dubs work.
But, well, I mean, dubs are typically, they speak in their own language and then people talk over it. This just made it sound like they were moving their lips to what
I think you're
would
just
be
reading
the-
too far into it. I think they just did a regular ass dub. They didn't fucking read. They didn't record two separate versions of the film where one of them the actors were actually talking
Oh, is that
Chinese.
what he
and
was trying to say?
That's what it's what it seemed like to me. It was like they're, anyway, not important. Moving on.
Dude, I thought the dub was fire. You guys are crazy.
I didn't think it was bad. Literally, I think this movie suffers from the plot not being cohesive and the ending making no sense.
I think it suffers in every aspect of being.